So what have we got here? On the bench today, or well, I should say not bench, this is Kotatsu. My actual bench is rather full of other unfinished projects. Anyway, we have a rather nice looking late 70s vintage Technics integrated amplifier, SU-7300. So it's apparently got some faulty connections, one channel maybe iffy, something like that. I forget exactly what the problem was described. I think maybe one of the bulbs has gone or something on the meters, but we'll take a look in a bit. But just looking at the front, it's very nice condition. We've got standard volume balance, input selectors for phono and tuner, and then 2 tape loops, which is quite nice. Tape 1, tape 2, or well, tape 1, tape 2 source, and then you can copy tapes while listening to another source. Standard bass and treble controls. Over here we've got a loudness tone control, which was certainly popular back in the 70s. We've got what appears to be a high frequency cutoff filter. Not quite sure why you would need that, but there it is. And then it looks like we can select between 2 sets of speakers, and a headphones socket, so that must be switched because there's no separate switch. And this looks like it controls the scale on the meters. So I'm looking forward to seeing these meters. Not strictly necessary, but it's always entertaining to see some kind of display. Yeah, that should be quite nice if we can get those working. And then power, only thing to note is that it's off down, so that's a kind of US style power. But yeah, it's a good looking amp. Let's have a look at the back. So on the back we've got some rather feeble, by modern standards at least, connectors, but these are actually better than the DIN plugs, those little tiny DIN plugs that were on some 70s systems. So at least those these are a step up from those. What else we got? Phono and tuner inputs here. We've got the tape loops in phono, and interestingly one of them has a DIN option there as well, so that's quite good. Certainly of this vintage, you know, the different bits of equipment would either use the phono, RCA phono, or DIN. European market tended to use the DIN more often, but then everybody migrated to these RCA phonos. Yeah, so that's about it. Voltage adjustment, probably transformer winding change there. Nothing very extraordinary. Nice wooden case, and it's pretty heavy. The service manual says it's 9.1 kilograms, and so yeah, decent weight to it. So right, let's plug source in. Let's plug some headphones in and see what we get out of it. Well, I've got the source going in there to the tuner input, and to be honest, there's not a whole lot fundamentally wrong with it. You can see the input is going through, and we've got the meters going there. I mean, all the switches and all the pots are scratchy, so you know, you move them a bit and they crackle. But fundamentally, they all seem to work, and I'm actually getting both channels out through the headphones. I suppose I ought to check the speaker drive, but I think it'll come from the same place. So if this is working, it should be fine. So yeah, probably not that much to do. Hopefully it'll be easy to take apart and get to all the switches and contact clean them. So that's really the first thing. I'm assuming that there should be some lights on these meters, but I don't know for sure. And then maybe just check the quiescent current on the amplifier stage once it's warmed up, and maybe check some old capacitors there, see if they're still within spec or whether it's worth changing while I've got the top open. Yeah, okay, I think I may move this to the actual bench rather than have it on this table in this room. But yeah, fundamentally it's kind of working. So here we have the inside, a bit dusty, so I'll have to give it a bit of a clean, but we can see the switches and potentiometers. I may try and get this front off with these screws to get better access down to these switches and controls. But the backlight for the meters, actually there's just one bulb it seems, which spreads across the two, and this panel will come off it seems with this screw. So I think I'm going to take that out and see if I can get at the bulb, see if it's a standard size. I might even have one if I'm very lucky, otherwise I'll have to order it in. So this is the old bulb, 6.3 volts, 250 milliamps, and I've been searching in my box of old bulbs, miscellaneous bulbs from the 70s and 80s. I've found this one which looks approximately right, 6 point something volts, 0.2 amps, so I'm going to put that in and see if that works. And yep, that's not too bad. I think it's a little bit on the dim side. It looks slightly brighter on camera perhaps, but it's obviously better than having no bulb, and yeah, it's probably going to be okay. Not too hard to take the front panel off, just some screws at the top, and then the volume, bass and treble balance controls pull off with a bit of force, and then the nuts here can be removed. So at least this PCB I can get better access to put spray in. I've still got to work out how to get to these switches. If I'm lucky I can get down the side. I'd rather not take out the entire PCB because that would mean probably removing the heat sinks because of the transistors attached, so that's going to be a bit tricky. But anyway, I'll start with this board and see how much spray I can get down in there. Now, with a lot of screws removed, I was able to move the front panel here to gain access to the underside and remove some of the dust. I've removed some of the dust on the top with a vacuum cleaner and a brush, so it's a little bit cleaner. I've put some contact cleaner in here and this switch as well. So I've got to work on these components here, so I'll do that in a moment. But I did just notice once I'd removed some of the dust that this area here, the board was looking a little bit heat damaged. This diode here was rather close to this capacitor, and you can see a bit of heat damage there. So I'm a bit suspicious about that capacitor for a start. Apart from its age, it looks like it might have got a bit hot, and that is not good for electrolytics. So I'm going to have a quick test of that one and see if it's in spec or whether it's worth replacing while we've got the board up. So this is reading about 700 microfarads, which is a bit on the low side. I mean, it's 1000, so you know, plus or minus 10 to 20%. It's just getting out of spec, so I think I'll replace it because it's not going to get any better. While we're here, yeah, I think I'll do that. See if I can find one in my box. So I found a replacement there, just a bit over 1000, which is good. Now I've thought I'd test another one, 220. This should be, and this is not 220. So yeah, it looks like another one that I'll need to replace. I sprayed contact cleaner in this volume pot, but it's still a bit scratchy, so I think I'm going to have to desolder it and get at all the angles, maybe even disassemble part of it. I don't know. Let's see if I can get it out and just spray and soak it in contact cleaner a bit more thoroughly. So I've pretty much drowned this in contact cleaner. You can sort of get some at the both ends into a small crack there. So I'm hoping enough has gone in there to clean the wipers and reduce the crackle. So yeah, that was much better. This potentiometer now is pretty smooth and not much crackle at all there. So that's it really. Nothing very significant needed to be changed. Just cleaning, dust and contact cleaner, and just a few capacitors here I've changed. You can see the ones that are not blue just were getting a little bit low in their capacitance. Yeah, I'll put the lid back on, and well, so it's a good looking 70s amp with nice meters. Yeah, it's quite nice really.